Once upon a time in the bustling town of Harmonyville, there was a bright and curious girl named Holly. Holly had fiery red hair that matched her fiery spirit, and she lived in a charming little house full of music. Her family loved music so much that even the walls seemed to dance. But it was Holly's piano that held a special place in the house. Holly loved her piano more than anything else. It was a grand old instrument, full of quirky sounds and stories from a time long before Holly was born. Every day after school, Holly practiced diligently, preparing for the big day. The big day was finally here, the grand Harmonyville piano competition. As the sun rose over Harmonyville, Holly awoke with a bubbling excitement. She wore her favorite music note dress and stuffed her sheet music into a gleaming red backpack. Her parents wished her luck as she skipped to the hall. Upon her arrival, Holly was greeted by a sea of fellow young pianists, all buzzing with excitement and anticipation. They came from all over with shiny shoes and even shinier pianos. But Holly's piano was special, not because it was the prettiest or the newest, but because it held a delightful secret. While waiting for her turn, Holly spotted Mr. Whiskers, the town's most eccentric but beloved piano tuner. He was known for boasting that he could make any piano sing, but what many didn't know was that Mr. Whiskers had a peculiar habit. He doodled little characters inside every piano he tuned. Finally, it was Holly's turn. She walked onto the stage, the lights beaming down like 1,000 stars. As she sat on the polished stool, ready to play, she took a deep breath, placed her fingers on the keys, and that's when it happened. All of a sudden, the piano began to vibrate, humming a magical melody all on its own. Holly sprang back in surprise, and the audience gasped. Then, much to Holly's astonishment, the little doodle characters on the inner side of the piano began to come to life. They danced off the wooden frame, swirling around the piano like musical notes come to life, delightful sprites of melody and magic. The audience watched in awe, their eyes wide as saucers, as the tiny characters filled the hall with an enchanting symphony. Music notes floated and twinkled in the air, their merry tunes swirling around Holly like a friendly breeze. Holly watched, fascinated and a bit bewildered, as the magical scene unfolded before her, but the magic had just begun. Encouraged by the lively doodles, Holly placed her fingers back on the keys, and together they performed an extraordinary duet. Holly, a skilled pianist, and her enchanting companions, orchestrating a symphony like Harmonyville had never heard before. The audience was spellbound. They clapped and cheered as Holly's fingers danced nimbly across the keys, accompanied by the vibrant characters. The piece ended in a crescendo of sound and color, the final note echoing like a whispered secret through the hall. As the last note faded, the magical sprites gave Holly a mischievous wink before flitting back into the piano, settling once more into their doodled forms. The room erupted into thunderous applause. Holly stood up, a little dazed but glowing with happiness. She made her way to the edge of the stage, where Mr. Whiskers awaited with a proud, knowing smile. "Why, these pianists are full of surprises," chuckled Mr. Whiskers, tipping his hat. Holly smiled back, her heart full of melodies and magic. She didn't win first place that day. The competition had strict rules after all, but no one who was there would forget the music or the magic of Holly's unusual piano competition day. It was a day when music, magic, and imagination danced together on the keys of dreams.